South Carolina is on the verge of passing a bill that would end Obamacare in that state.
There are some legal questions surrounding this attempt, but if they get through, other states could well follow suit. Judge Andrew Napolitano is our Fox News senior judicial analyst to explain this. So, Judge, can South Carolina unilaterally decide not to follow a federal law?
Well, basically what South Carolina is offering to do is to instruct employees of the state of South Carolina not to participate in facilitating the law and to prohibit the expenditure of public funds on the law. Translate, if the president wants Obamacare in South Carolina, the feds will have to pay for it and the feds will have to establish it. So the question is, can they do that? And the answer is yes. Remember, the original Obamacare ordered the states to establish and pay for their own exchanges. And when the Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of Obamacare a year and a half ago, it did invalidate that part, saying the Congress is without authority, quote, to commandeer, closed quote, the states and tell them how to enforce law and tell them how to spend money. So South Carolina can do this.
So according to the Constitution, that state, Columbia State Capitol, can tell their employees not to accept a federal program.
No, it cannot stop their employees from signing up for Obamacare individually as private persons, but it can stop their employees from using their government jobs to cooperate with the federal government or to enforce its laws.
So if South Carolina does this successfully, then chances are that other Republican-led states will follow suit?
Allison and Bill, if enough states do this, it will gut Obamacare because the federal government does not have the resources or the wherewithal. We know it doesn't have the wherewithal. They can't operate a website, but it doesn't even have the resources to go into each of the individual states if they start refusing. One state here, another state there, the feds could handle it.
What would be critical mass? How many states would need to do that?
Probably, again, Bill, depending upon the population of those states. Once you approach half the population of the country, which you know could be a half dozen of the most populous states, not likely to be those, Obamacare would be effectively gutted.
So why aren't other Republican-led states considering this? I mean, some are trying to fix it, some are trying to figure out what they're going to do with it, so why not follow South Carolina's lead?
You know, that's a great question, Allison. Some states that have conservative Republican governors, like our former Fox colleague John Kasich, who's the governor of the great state of Ohio, ran into a buzzsaw of opposition when he said, you know what, we're going to have it here and the state's going to cooperate. Some Republican governors have decided in this environment it's the best thing to do. But if enough Republican governors and legislators say we're not going to do it, the president will have serious issues, more problems than he has today.
South Carolina, I mean, Senate Republican rule in Columbia, likely it'll pass, right?
I think it will pass. I haven't heard what Governor Haley will do, but my guess is that she will sign it, and then it'll be a test case bill to see if other states like it and go along. My guess is that at least a half dozen of the most conservative, most Republican-oriented states will do this. My guess is that the Justice Department will challenge it, and my guess is that those challenges will fail.
It's constitutional for states to prohibit their employees from complying with federal law.
Yes,
That's from the judge. Thank you, sir. Good to have you, buddy.
Great to see you.
Pleasure, guys. All the best.
Getting some